up one morning, get a house, buy a G-Guard, take a trip to the Bahamas. I mean, how is that even possible? Don't get me wrong, wonderful idea, great thoughts, beautiful dream, but all that requires that you pay a price. Welcome to a brand new episode of Omaliving show, and I'm your host, Marilyn Oma Anona. On this episode, we'll be talking about the process and the products, and how our youths view this whole thing. I live in Nigeria, and I'm a Nigerian, and I am a youth. But the truth be told, most of us do not like the process. We just want to wake up and have everything in one day. And this has brought a lot of problems to us, from high violence to high crime rates. How do we reduce this? What is responsible? Who is to be blamed? This is a topic for today. I'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. Now let's get down to business. Before the break, I introduced the topic, process and the product, and the reason why most youths do not want to get involved in the process. Everyone in life needs success. We all want to be successful, but only few are willing to pay the price. With me on the show today is a wonderful guest. She's a woman of timber and caliber, whatever that means. She's a woman of substance. She's a woman who has, devoted her time to see that our youths make the best use of their time, their energy, at a time when it is most needed. So after this time out, I'll be introducing our special guest. I'll be right back. Welcome back. I promised you guys before the brief intermission that I was going to introduce an awesome guest on this show. So we've been talking about product and process, how the youths of our dear nation do not like to actually go through all the rigors, you know how it is when you want to climb to the third floor of a building, you need to take the stairs. Well, most people do not like to do that, and that's the topic for today's episode. I've talked briefly about it before the break, so right now we're going to be going deeper with this beautiful guest seated right here. Oh my God, I love beautiful women, and you're just the definition of beauty. Nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
With me on the show today is Mrs. Anuli Aniebo Olaniyi. Anuli is a social entrepreneur. She's done a lot as far as mental empowerment is concerned. So I'll let her, tell us about herself, like they used to say, or that they always say, let us hear from the horse's mouth, even though she's not a horse. So nice to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Oma.
So tell us about you. Who is Anuli Aniebo Olaniyi?
Thank you so much again for having me here. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Anuli, like it clearly says. Anuli is a woman who believes in mentoring younger women in a place of career. So I have an organization actually that supports young women in their career development.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yes, I do that by sharing.
Just young women?
For now.
Okay.
For now, young women, capacity building, employability skills, CV writing, when you're looking for a job, how to go about it, how to project yourself in your interviews. That's what I do. I also write. I have a blog that covers all aspects of career at the moment. I have a day job as well. I sit on the board of directors of a hospitality company as well, based in Abuja.
Oh, really?
Yes. And before that, I've worked in really good organizations, Fortune 500 companies, both in the UK and Nigeria. Yes, so Anuli is hardworking. I work hard and I work really smart. Anuli believes in beauty with loads of intelligence.
Yeah, beauty and brain.
Yes, Anuli believes in that. Anuli is the first child of 6
wow,
children.
that makes it 2 of us.
Yes, and I've got great younger ones who, I'm really proud of as well. My younger sisters and brothers are doing great.
And I am proud of you as well. Now you talked about being the CEO of a company, of your company. Can we get to know what's the name of this company?
So my foundation is called HAIR. HAIR is HEIR.
Okay.
Now HAIR is an acronym. It's
Okay.
hard work, equality, intelligence, and respect.
Oh,
Which
that's clapping now.
Which are aspects that I feel that every woman should actually imbibe,
Alright.
in everything that we do, because women are truly, really special.
Wow.
I believe that we are strategizing with supportive men to rule the world with men as well. So HAIR is my foundation that I started, and I do that. I act as an NGO basis, and I just get funding. I fund a lot of it myself. I give
self-funding.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what HAIR really stands for. That's what I do personally. Yes.
Nice. I am thrilled. From the look on my face, you can tell I'm already in love with you. Okay, so something unique about your name. Nigeria is a very multi-ethnic country, but I see Yoruba and Igbo in your name. So
Yes.
can you tell us a bit about that?
So I call myself, I'm the one true Nigerian.
Oh wow.
I'm Igbo by birth. Both parents are Igbo, and I'm married
What
to
state?
Anambra State.
Oh,
Yes, and I'm married to an Oshun man.
wow.
Absolutely.
I love intertribal marriages.
It comes with its own, hard work as well, because my in-laws are one of the greatest people, and I think I know I'm just blessed to have a great guy, because he's just very supportive, very understanding, and I also think it's because I met him out of the country that a lot of things it has been imbibed in him.
Yeah, so lots of things that would have been barriers or challenges were no longer there.
I think it calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
So my name is Andy, and my husband's name is Anuli Aniebo. That's where the combination came in.
Wow, so let's get back to the topic of this very episode, and it's the process, the products. The process, all the rigors, the steps you need to take before attaining success, which is not even a destination. And the way our youths, both of us are youths, yeah? So we should be able to relate what I'm talking about right now. I felt the need to bring a very young person, even though Omaliving show is centered on the youths actually. But there seems to be a problem. You just talked about capacity building, leadership skills, employability, and all of that. So I believe you are very much acquainted with this topic. How do you see the process, the product thing, most our youths?
Thank you for that question. It's something I actually realized that sometimes I get a little bit frustrated that a lot of the young people that I've been privileged to speak to do not want to go through the process. From the product to the process, from process to the product, whichever way we look at it, a lot of our youths that truly do not understand why they should go through the process. So for example, I'll take a CV writing. A lot of people apply for jobs, and I go through the CVs. And I'm thinking, if you sat down to look through what you wrote on your CV, which is the process, you will get a better product. One, two, you'll be able to be called for an opportunity, an interview, or whichever way you look at it. So I don't, it frustrates me, which is why I came in to say, let me help you,
organize yourself. Mental frame.
And then when I do, I have a platform called Hire Me Bootcamp. It's my own training platform.
Okay.
I speak to the young women about the importance of ensuring that you actually put the work into your CV, because your CV is the first place.
You don't just wake up one day and just write.
You don't copy and paste. You don't go to Google and ask Google about the type of CV you should put.
Yeah.
What your CV should be talking about is you. But a lot of our young ones actually just take whatever it is and put it on there. And then when you come for an interview and I ask you, you say you're an enthusiastic person, and I ask you which aspect of your job have you been, shown enthusiasm.
Yeah, or you even ask them to define the word enthusiasm, and they don't.
I know that I had one, and he asked me, Ma, is that on my CV? I'm like, yes, you're the one that put it. So it irks me really. I think that, and I have to say, Oma, I don't actually think there's no process before you have to go through all the process to get to where you're going to. No matter how little it is, even if it's, excuse me if I'm going to say something really horrible, like you wanted to commit a crime, you have to actually sit down
and think through
it. That's the negative part of the process. But so I don't know why the disconnect is, but I have an idea why it's been disconnected.
Okay. So the second question would be, now that we all know, or you've agreed with the topic that most youths love to just keep the process. We just want to wake up and become a Dangote today. We just want to wake up and become Genevieve, someone who has been she's almost 2 decades in the industry, and you see someone by the sideline, I can do it, and it's crazy. So I want to ask you now, what do you think is responsible for this?
Thank you so much,
What are the things you think? Because it may just be too numerous.
Yes, I think I'll try and come from two perspectives to answer the question as much as I can. Coming from let me use myself as an example. If I'm looking up to somebody, right, and I want to be that product that is the person, I should be able to look for the lows of the person, what the person went through. How did you get to that point, But I that want to be like you, for example, I'm not thinking about what Oma has done, what Oma read in school, how she,
what she's invested, all she's passed through.
I just want to come in, I see Oma looking beautiful in her set, with her tab, and I just want to be Oma, and I just come to Oma, I want to
like I said, you like the idea of Oma, but you do not want to be Oma.
So nobody's asking. So the youth should be. They're not asking the question, how did you get here? It's support me, mentor me, support my business, show me networks. Why all of that is fine, but that doesn't really give you a clear indication of what the person really, went to get where they are. So that's the perspective from the youth. So then I'll have to say that from those that they look up to, like role models, or people that they want to be like, there's also a little gap. So if you are just showcasing your lifestyle on social media about luxury and you're on the airplane, I have no problem with anybody taking pictures with yourself on the airplane. Don't get me wrong, it's that's your prerogative. But when the youth see all that, at some point, perhaps when you're writing your story on IG or on Instagram or Twitter, you can just say a few things about, it took me a decade to get here. This is the first time in 20 years I have
and not painting the picture of absolute glamour or milk and honey.
Absolutely. So I feel like a lot of people who are looked up to as role models should tell the true story, because that is how I feel that we, role models, can help the younger generation.
That's the right way to inspire.
Absolutely.
Not creating a picture of perfection. No. Saying it as it is.
Say it as it is. Say it as it is.
So that's from the angle of the role model.
Yes. So I feel the two parties we have to play, all of us. Okay. We're all in this. Show the young ones that if you're going to go to the market, there's this route, there's this route, there's this route, there's that, Do not just show the person that, I went to the market and I came back and look at what I bought. You have to show them how to price, how to negotiate.
You have to also show them the opportunity cost, that you wanted to buy chicken, but you had to resort to beef.
Because of that. Yes. So youth should ask more questions, and role models should also ask more questions. All well and good, I want you to come and be my PA. But as a PA, you may not even know anything from where I started from. I cannot afford you as a PA until I have money to pay you as a PA. But as a PA, how are you going to understand the lifestyle I've gone through? So you as a worker, advise the young ones. I didn't start here today. This was where I started. Look at where I lived. Look at where I was sleeping. That's why you hear all these stories.
It should be clear.
It should be clear. And I feel like if a lot of us begin to do that, we'll be inspiring the young.
Okay, so you've talked about the youth blaming us, and then you've talked about the role models, the people that certain people look up to, emulate them and want to be close to them or them.
Yes.
Okay, what do you think the parents are to be blamed in any of this? Our value system, the kind of traits or values that were inculcated in some people. Like, for example, I was reading the other day, I think one of the popular blogs, Insta blog or something, I think a certain white woman or black American was saying that being born in an African home is almost equivalent to slavery, like being a female in an African home. And I wasn't patient to start, but I went as far as the first paragraph, and she was just trying to say that African parents, minus my parents though, because they are not guilty of that, would want to just push their female children to start, bringing something home. They just care about what you bring. They don't want to care about how you go about bringing these things. Do you think some parents have a role to play in kids not wanting to go through the right process to get to the product.
Yes, I mean, I'm a parent myself, so I feel like I don't want to have to give 100% blame to the parents, because like you just did now, you excluded your parents.
Of course.
I'm excluding my parents. A lot of other people would exclude their parents, right? I just feel like I would rather say that it is a re-education that we all need, because all our parents started with an ideology from somewhere. You and I are here today, we have another ideology because we've been exposed to things that are happening.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if you and I were born in that age, we don't know what we would have done in that age.
Well, I seem to think that values were, better then.
Don't get me wrong, when values, I'm not too sure, because there's still people who are useless, just you didn't hear about them. You hear about people who are not doing well, who are useless, because social media has exposed it.
Yeah, true.
But for example, prostitution has always existed. Infidelity, unfaithfulness, child marriages, rape, abuse, domestic violence has always been. But the media has not allowed us to know. One, two, the boldness and the audacity and confidence that we young women have nowadays to come and speak up, we didn't have it in those days. So things are changing. So to really blame the parents totally, I would shy away from that a little bit. Yes, we parents have a lot to do.
Not totally though. I was just asking, do you think they have some blames?
Yes, just a little bit. So if it is that you're in a position to teach your child or train your child properly, please do that. If you're in a position to tell your child, don't do this or do that, I think you should actually go ahead and do that. Not doing it for somebody else. We're Africans. We're Nigerians, right? We love to imbibe Western cultures. Nothing wrong with that. There's always a good and a not so good part.
But there should be a limit. You shouldn't lose your identity.
And then when you come in and God has blessed you, you're doing really well, and your child turns a certain age. There's some certain cars for certain ages, in my opinion. There's some certain type of phone for some certain type of ages.
Sorry to cut you short. I just thought of something. I think sometimes because some parents have failed in their duties to actually take care of their kids to a certain level before letting them become independent. They do not now have the moral justification to ask them, where did you get this phone? I mean, you're not taking care of this kid.
That's the point. But I also want to say that only we don't know what would have happened in the parents' past. I'm not really an advocate of what happened to me in the past is the reason why I'm acting like this today. Yeah. But it does have some sort of correlation. Yeah. If a parent was unable to be shown love and hugging and saying I love you every night, it's difficult for that child that person now a parent to show that unless they now decide that I want to learn and change
the aspect of self-development.
Yes, which is possible. Yeah. So you do have a point. A little part of us as parents are guilty of overindulgence or lack of morals or values. But I think at the end of the day, we are all individuals in our own right.
And we have the ability to create and recreate who we want to be.
Yes, so when you and I grow up today, we will now decide that, you know what, you have some type of revelation and reflection on
because
yourself.
When you fail, you can't keep blaming who made you. Why are you failing? My dad did, my mom did.
No, that's what I'm saying. That the correlation can be there, but I'm not an advocate for it. Sit down and speak to yourself. Really, is this thing you're doing, is it beneficial to you and everybody around you? Then put whatever your parents are doing aside and then get up and do something. So we should carry on from there.
Much. Okay, now I want to also ask, as regards the second question, do you think our religious houses, churches, because I'm a Christian, so that's one I know about. You go to churches sometimes, you hear the clergyman say things like, you will receive so and so this week. And he's not even trying to, at the end of the day, tell you, make sure you work. It's only when you work that you receive. They make it sound like unmerited favor. That's what they call it, unmerited favor. Yeah, someone else is toiling and then his favor comes to you. Do you think they also play a part in contributing to, are you thinking that you don't necessarily have to suffer? Like they put it, for me it's no suffering, but most of them will tell you, I wasn't born to suffer. Do you think they also contribute to it?
I think that our religious leaders can do better in the kind of information they pass on from the pulpit. Whichever deity you are serving, there's nothing short of you working hard. Even Christians, you say unmerited favor without work. Your faith will not be.
I mean, it's a total contradiction to the Bible.
Yes, but the thing is that you know that there's some people who don't go to church past Sundays. Because there are some churches that when you come to for a Sunday service, the teacher has about 45 minutes to talk to you so that other things will go on.
Yeah.
There are other midweek services that one should really plug into, where they might now take that topic and break it down, which is why we're talking about process.
To be honest with you, since this year I've not gone to church. I don't believe you need to go to church. Know what's right and wrong.
Not necessarily, you know, everybody has where they try to get their spirituality from. But there are actually things in church, like I go to, I'm an Anglican, I go to church, and there are things that you get involved with and you work hard. And, you know, the vicar will tell you about working hard. But he may not say everything there. But when you come for Bible studies or you come for women's meeting, there are things that you do, you go deeper. And then for yourself, like we were saying earlier, you need to be responsible for yourself. The sense of entitlement we have as a youth and as a nation is horrible. So you go away. So even as a Christian, be a real believer. If the vicar says it that unmerited favor, why don't you go yourself, which is that whole process thing, and find out from your Quran or Bible or whatever, what is it to have unmerited favor? You can see that everything just flows through.
Yes.
If you go and find out, read up on your own, because they would have given you Bible scriptures anyway, read up on your own on what is unmerited favor and what it really, you know, means to have it. You find out more information.
Okay, you really do make interview very easy.
Thank you.
The third question would be on solution to this problem. There is no need, it will make no sense moaning about this thing and then we don't perfect solutions. People are watching, the viewers out there are keen to know, at the end of the day, how do we solve this mess? How do we, you know, make sure that this is reduced, if not eradicated?
I think for me, we need to just first understand that there's an issue out there. All right, there's an issue with us youths out there. Entitlement, not willing to work hard, or you know, or not wanting to follow the process. But I think in our conversation we've gotten one or two solutions.
Yeah.
So if you're a youth and you want to go through a process of becoming some type of product, do your research, find out what it took that person to get to that kind of product. You know, if you want to be a mentor, I have this article on my blog about so you want to be a mentee. And I listed out 10 things you need to know or you need to do to actually become a mentee. Because people just cut around telling you, please come and mentor me, please come and mentor me. Do you know what it takes? Do you understand that I need to be able to evaluate you to know whether you're a proper mentee or not? So I feel like from a youth's perspective, you need to do your homework, do your research. And then from a role model perspective, if they're looking up to you, they want to be like you. You know, you're a musician, you're a star, you're a luxury shop or whatever it is. When you post things on Instagram, you know, you post, oh, you know, hashtag God is good, hashtag I'm living the life, hashtag set life.
Hard work pays.
You know, if you can just try in a post, you know, just elaborate a little bit about this whole hashtag luxury life or working hard, so that when people come onto your blog or come and read about you, they're able to learn one or two things and take it from you. You know, like if you are going to post, for example, Oma, you would say, oh, even if I studied this, you worked in a bank, you took a decision to leave bank, but you need to let us know that that transition period
wasn't funny.
How you had to take a paycheck, you had to take a pay cut, you had to do this, you had to
go hungry.
Do you know what I mean? So they don't so when you're showing them the final product is a beautiful image in front of them. But the process, you and I have a duty to write the process, share the process as much as we can. And I also feel like we can also contribute to the solution by, you know, once in a while, just host a few people, you know, on your tab. Host a few people and say, this is just a host day. Just want you guys to know how it all started. Let the topic be how it all started. And then
simple and short. It was nice having you on the show.
Thank you so much,
Anuli Olaniyi. Oh, you spelled on the palm like me. Another similarity. Thank you once more for being on the show.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris Veduti. Keep watching the Omaliving show. Just a very great show.
Wow, I've been talking to Anuli Aniebo Olaniyi. She's quite a bunch of inspiration. Okay, the topic has been process, the product, our youths not loving the process but just wanting to get up there in a twinkle of an eye. How possible is that? I mean, it sounds like a joke. How do you wake up and just want to be a Dangote without even, putting in a little work? It won't work. Anything you just get on a platter of gold, most times it just fizzles out without you knowing it. Find a way to build up a structure. If a foundation is right, a structure would last. I have been in this profession independently for close to 4 years, and I'm yet to get to where I'm going. That is the process. When you look at my life, using myself as an example, you can see the graduation from a certain level to another level, and it keeps going that way. If you're a makeup artist, you don't expect to wake up and become a Tara. It's not possible. The Genevieve or Motola and all the rest of the people you want to just be like, going about doing the wrong things. Use that time, use that money you've converted to buying fake Instagram likes. Use that money you've converted to getting face beats that you do not need. Use that money you've used to visit all the top fashion houses in Abuja to do things that would help you to get to your goals, real goals. There's life beyond the social media. There's life beyond what you see. People just make you imagine that life is so easy. That has been the topic for today, and I do hope you've been inspired. Till I come back to you on next episode, my name is Marilyn Oma Anona. Stay inspired.